Happy Friday and welcome to episode 87 of the weekly recap. We put it off a week. We'll talk about why. But how are you doing today, Maddie?
I am good, Rick, but can you believe I'm still jet lagged from San Francisco from the Pulse conference? It's been a week since I got back, meaning I go to sleep very early and I wake up to 3 a.m. in the morning. But you know what? I'm here complaining when you were just going around the world. You've been in the past 2 weeks twice to San Francisco and Australia, which is a big trip. Why don't you tell us more about the events you went to?
I can confirm. I landed last night around midnight Ohio time and I saw emails from Maddie. So yes, I can confirm she's jet lagging. Yeah, so we last recorded 2 weeks ago in San Francisco. I came home, then I went to Australia for only 3 nights, and then I went back to Ohio, and then I went back to San Francisco for the VMware Explorer event. And let's see how I do tonight, Maddie. But I wasn't jet lagged coming into today. So we'll see. I cut through it pretty good. I kind of cheat a little bit with the melatonin, and then also I'm always able to sleep anywhere. In fact, I've fallen asleep in like concerts and things like that. I'm weird like that. If I'm tired, I'll
Okay.
take a nap. I'll take a nap. So we missed a week, but we got a lot to share. So let's jump in and let us take a look. So I mentioned that I just came from VMware Explore, and I can tell you guys, it was massive. Now, this is kind of news just because we brought it up, but we had a number of sessions at VMware Explorer, and a lot of these are going to be up on the either the VMware replay or the ones that are going to be V Brown Bag sessions. Those will be available actually probably already on YouTube. But Michael and Anthony did this multi-cloud journey here, the cloud security and Kubernetes. I had a crazy packed popular session with Kirsten on ransomware. Obviously, good topic, always pulls them in. Kirsten again did a session with Oracle on the Oracle Cloud VMware solution, all things community. I think that one will be a V Brown Bag that'll be up on the V Brown Bag YouTube. And then the 90 days of DevOps, this one as well, was Michael talking about his learning journey. And then Anthony, this one happens on the Thursday. This will be about an application journey from the time over time with the look at the technology. So if you didn't check this out, we have a lot going on at VMware Explorer. And I left early. I didn't even go to the party. That's a first for me, Maddie. But you picked out a lot of good stuff, I'll admit. She made the pick six this week, guys.
I
Stab.
did indeed. Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to watch as well the sessions from the VMware. They seem really interesting. And I think there are so many good topics for the community as well. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That event always is right in our swim lane of our audience, and now that it's been a couple years, it's expanded to cloud and Kubernetes. I think that it's almost more relevant than ever. But there's a lot of questions, right, with the Broadcom acquisition that were not addressed. So I think we'll have to wait and see. We'll see what happens at the November event in Barcelona. So
True.
Stabs talks about V12 with direct object storage. What caught your eye about this one, Maddie?
Well, first of all, I want to say that Stubbs has been super active lately, so good job in that. Hopefully, he's going to keep on the good job. And in this article, he's actually talking about V12 backup directly to object storage, where he uses Wasabi. And as you can see, it's really detailed article. My favorite part is the use cases section, which is just at the end. But there are two other interesting things that caught my eyes. If you just go, I think is the third print screen. After the third print screen, he says that he hasn't tested to configure the active full option, but he presumes that the job will transfer all blocks and not only the new ones. What do you think about that?
Oh, let's see here. So, yeah, let's see. He didn't test the active full option, but I presume
Mhm.
that it will transfer all the blocks, not only the new ones. Yeah, that would be what I would understand. as an active full on there. But I haven't gone and measured the transfer of that, right? But I think because of the nature of what we're calling an active full, regardless of the target, whether it's general purpose disk or object storage, I do expect it will actually transfer. But the other thought here is that it might actually see that there's unique blocks. That's a good one here. I gotta answer that question. I don't even know. I'll put a comment and I'll get an answer here. That's a good one, Stabs. I will find out for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is great.
And the use cases are really great. That's my favorite part. But there's one more section at the end. He's talking about a bug that he actually found. And I was curious if anybody else in the community got that while they were testing it. Did you get that?
Actually, I'm not often in the business of deleting backups, but I like the thought that he's going through that. So I haven't done this one myself. I will go see if that's already been entered as a bug. If not, Stabs, I will proxy your comment through to the forums, right? And let's see here. Anybody? Yeah. So like a couple other people going through this as well, but didn't bring up those particular questions. So no, Stabs, you're like going deep on it. I really appreciate that. And I saw a couple of links here as well to a couple other posts, including one by Derek as well. So no, great write-up, Stabs. Thank you so much for sharing. This is clearly one of the biggest parts of V12. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Stabs, and keep the good job.
All right. So next up, Ragnar, what caught your eye on this one, Maddie?
So basically in this article, Ragnar talks about Veeam's release of a cumulative patch that fixes two issues, which have been discovered in Veeam 365 version 6a. It's a sweet, short article. So I really love that. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, first of all, I didn't even catch that 6A happened here, so I'm glad that Ragnar caught it for me. To be fair, it was just earlier this week or late last week, and I was on a plane all day that day. But basically, 6A is a small update that we should look into. And then the other thing is, if you update it right away, this is the part that I thought was pretty important. This is something I would expect that Veeam would do right here. It said the ISO's already been updated, right? So if you haven't deployed yet 6A, the current deployment will have the this update already put in place. And the other thing to note here is it says that it only affects, less than 1% of the use cases out there, but it's still recommended if you update it on the day of. So I know that on the recap, we were talking about this 6A release a lot. So it's good to know that if you were early adopter to check out this KB 4347, and if you've already, or if you've not yet done it, you won't have to worry about this because it's built into the ISO. So thank you for catching that, Ragnar. I didn't even catch that.
Yep. Very good,
right.
Ragnar.
And then Nico's got one of my favorite topics, offline copies with a different twist, right? So what caught your eye with this post from Nico?
Well, first of all, I love to see Nico back in the game. He was not very active lately. He was busy with few other things, so I'm happy to see him. This is like one of the few other articles that he's been posting lately. And in this article, he talks about how important is the 32110 rule when creating a good backup solution for the customer. And he's actually discussing in detail the second one in the rule of line backup using rotating USB disks. So what do you think about this solution, Rick?
I think this is great because we talk so often about immutable copies, like with object storage or the Veeam hardened repository. But Nico's talking about one of the other types of media here that do a really good job of being ultra resilient to some of the threats like ransomware. And basically, offline disks or air-gapped storage is a way you can do that as well. So especially in the SMB and the edge, like smaller locations on remote sites, this is a strategy that works. I'll be honest with you, this came out a long time ago with Veeam, but I love seeing it being revisited here. So thank you so much for sharing, Nico.
And there's a second part. So this was just the first part of the article. Apparently, he's going to go deeper into this subject.
Yeah, that's great. That's great because I think you could also get into like, some of the, the screenshots even, or what does it look like on disk? Because when you have the repository move on you, it behaves a little different, right? It's going to take active full backups if the backup chain isn't there. So little things like that are going to be in the mix, and this is good stuff here. So thank you so much for sharing, Nico.
Thank you, Nico.
All right, so we have one special department thing, and this is a good one by Chris and Razvan. What's coming up next week or the week after?
Yes, we're going to have, so on the 8th of September, we're going to have a VUG Canada event where Chris, the VUG leader, together with Razvan Ionescu, he's the principal technical trainer for Veeam, we'll talk about how to simplify backup in the cloud with Veeam Backup for Microsoft Azure. But the best part of this is that they're going to also have a demo. So I would just suggest everyone to go and register. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be a good, even like I could say, great event. It's good. Yeah. It's going to be a lot to learn from.
Yeah, and so it looks like it's going to be at 11 New York time. So I don't know if it automatically changed to my time zone or if that's what it's written at, but 11
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, that should be great. Chris, user group leader, Vanguard and Legend, always on the community site. So that should be a good one. I had a little funny thing on the last Friday live stream we did. I tried to start with nothing and deploy the Veeam backup for Azure in less than 30 minutes and do my first backup and recovery. Now it took me 35, but we Kirsten and we got it done. So good stuff. So yeah, looking forward to that. Thank you, Chris, for doing that as part of the VUG Canada and more. I mean, everybody's welcome. It's not just for VUG Canada, I guess we should say.
Yes, of course.
Cool. And the last thing, part of special department, is who's new. And Maddie, we didn't have a show last week, so we kind of like barely made it fit on the screen. We have 102 new users since the last time we ran the report, and we've got 5 cool usernames. So I picked a few, you picked a few. TechStringy Paul, that's awesome. But TechStringy's always been that, but it's just a cool name. And then Nico with Nick Backup, I like that. And then somebody went to the moon. We went to the moon. That's a cool one. Nico Witt and No Leaf. I mean, these are we have so many cool usernames. This is a great list.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So big welcome to everybody to who's new and everyone else in the community for engaging. And Maddie, thank you so much for curating this week's content.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.